Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Let me check to see if I've got the right mic. Yes, I do. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you go and hit the bell so you don't miss on any streams or uploads in the future. If you haven't done already, check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. You can find the link to that at the top of the chat and also in the description below. Join discussions, chat with other traders, including myself, share ideas. I share ideas there as well. Join the community. And of course, if you want to find out a little bit more about elevating traders, you can do that on the Discord as well. So if you are interested, make sure you head over, go check it out. Completely free to join. But guys, welcome back to another stream. A lot to get through. JPY news coming up soon. What's up, Will? Welcome to the stream. Forex Sniper. Yes, we'll go through pound USD shortly. I'll go for the DXY euro, then we'll take a look at pound together. Mo, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What is it, Ahmed? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. So yeah, we'll start with the dollar, and I'll go through all USD majors. We'll take a look at gold and silver as well. Probably go through some indices as well. So starting with the DXY. So we've been pretty much mixed since we last spoke, but overall we have seen some downside for the week. We had some consolidation. Price broke the downside pretty aggressively, and we've kind of seen a bit of a continuation of that. I think from an intraday point of view, things are still looking remotely bearish, but we are in an area where we can potentially bounce and turn around. Because if I go back to the 4-hour chart, I'm still looking for the continuation of this lovely bullish leg here. Lovely move to the upside, creating new highs past this swing high here on the left. That was our prior swing high. This is our higher low, and of course, this is our higher high. So essentially, I'm looking for the pullback of that move for another higher low to form somewhere, and a continuation back to the highs. That's my 4-hour bias. Of course, from an intraday point of view, we do have some bearish structure on our hands, and the market has been slipping, sliding to the downside, creating lower lows and lower highs as well. So if you are on the shorter time frames, I do think shorts are good for the intraday play. However, we are in areas where I do expect buyers to kick back in and possibly see a move to the up. So if you are looking at some short-term downside for the dollar, the emphasis is on the short term. Not that we can't, of course, melt out the sky. We can do anything. But because we are coming into some bullish territory, retesting this prior high turn support, you do want to be careful with those shorts because holding to those shorts for too long, you can see the buy step back in and suddenly we're looking bullish again. So I am looking for price to turn around here for the dollar. However, no real kind of sign of that just yet. And at the moment, it's still looking really bearish. So if you are on the lower time frames, I'll probably keep up with the sells. If potentially price can come back, respect this low well, I may look for the double bottom there and some double top pound and euro, which we'll get into in a second. So that could be a situation where I do look to get not long DXY, but short euro USD or short pound USD, essentially looking to buy dollar against the euro or the pound. So that's essentially what I'm looking for. Still an area where I do like the buys and the area where we can see some upside. Just need to wait for some more development. In terms of euro USD, of course, we pretty much got the inverse of that. Nice push to the upside. I believe just about tagged this level on the left, more or less. Yeah, we just about tagged it. So we've had a rejection of the area, and I'm looking for price to turn around from this area here as well. Pretty much, if you invert the chart, it looks exactly like what dollar's doing. Pretty much, the dollar's kind of testing the high here, but euro is a little bit deeper. But again, pretty much the same thing. So with euro USD, again, if I drop to an intraday perspective, things are still remotely bullish, still seeing higher highs and higher lows. So I think if you again on the lower time frames, not such a bad idea to be looking for some longs for continuation. Not sure where that went back to white. For continuation back to the what is going on over there? Drawing skills in the bin. Something like that, and then we can probably continue back to the highs there. And essentially, that's kind of what I'm looking at for euro. Looking to see if we can come back, reject that area again, and possibly find the entries to get short, and hopefully ride it back to the lows here. but we'll see how far we can take it. Again, for me, with Euro USD, we've got the major high over there. This is our last bearish leg, creating the lower low, again, breaking through these lows. So on the 4-hour chart, I'm still looking at this bearish structure and looking for a lower high, but I'm waiting for those confirmations to get in. And hopefully you can find some shorts pretty soon. But the idea is still the same: pull back, looking for downside continuation back to the lows, and just waiting for some entry signals in that area. Pound USD, same situation as well. Although I do prefer pound USD a little bit more than euro. I think the price action is just a little bit cleaner. But again, I like how pound USD is moving. Really strong bearish legs in these past couple of moves. We're seeing a lot of momentum with the bears breaking through lows. Again, this is our last major lower high, which gave us this drop to the downside, breaking through the lows there on the left. So again, looking back of that. Haven't seen much of retracement over pound USD. Euro's been slightly bit more bullish. Pound USD is slowly correcting to the upside here. So it looks like we're getting more of a correction of this bearish leg rather than the complete bearish leg to the downside. Because I'll be looking at, I whip out the fib from that high to the low. I'll be looking at a much bigger move if I was going to anticipate the correction of this area, at least back to that zero point 0.5, 0.618 area, which of course we're nowhere near. And of course, we're looking at the retest of that support level down the left as well. So if we were to have a slightly bigger move, pound USD is still something I'm very interested in. Um, what's up, Nuruddin? Good morning. Ahmed, is there issue with the mic? Let me know, people, if there's an issue with the microphone. I think I'm corrected to connect to the right mic. If not, let me know. Yeah. So let me know in the chat, people, if the mic is having issues. But yeah, pound USD looking for a similar move to euro, which is another retest of this zone here for another double top at that high. And if we do get a rejection, looking for shorts there on the 4-hour chart, and a push right back to where we came from, which is the swing low at 1.21. A little bit, but it's okay. I think the internet is lagging. Okay, let me check. I think my internet is okay. Okay, if it continues to act up. Anyway, I'll continue with the USD analysis, but I'll check again in a second. So yeah, we found USD looking for the double top of that level 1.236. Find some entries there, and of course downside. But should we have a deeper correction, as we've been saying, 1.25 looks equally as good for some shorts and move to the downside. So that's really what I'm after there for pound. But again, on an intraday level, there for the USD pairs and there for the dollar. In terms of dollar CAD, I believe we're still in the consolidation, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, we are. We're still trading in that range. So again, not really interested in the price action for dollar CAD. Um, as long as we stay within that range, it doesn't really do anything for me, and I'll kind of leave it alone. The moment we do break through the high or break through the low, that's when I'll be interested, and then I'll be looking at opportunities accordingly. But at the moment, price is still snug inside that range, so wouldn't be looking to analyze or do anything with price action inside of that until we can break through that. Of course, in terms of the bias, I do expect a lot more upside for dollar CAD. I'm looking for a push back to the high, which is 1.46379, which of course is that weekly zone over there. So hopefully we can see a lot more upside there for USD CAD, and then I'll be looking for price to break out the consolidation, find some retest, and then hopefully ride it back to that same weekly level. That's the opportunity I'm looking for, similar to what gold is kind of doing, breaking the high and then looking for pullbacks afterwards. Hopefully, we can see a push back to the swing high there at 1.46, 1.465, we'll call it. Um, of course, potentially could break to the downside as well, which could give some nice opportunities on the shorts. Not really as interested in that because I'm still pretty much bullish on dollar CAD. But what it would mean is that there could be some really nice downside for a much bigger pullback for eventually a turn of events. So if goes the weekly chart very quickly. You can see we have had that massive breakout of that resistance, and I'm looking to see if price can come back and retest that level. Yeah, it's just the sound. The sound is terrible. Please fix it. Okay. Uh, it might be the game. Okay, let me know if that's better. Okay, let me check. 1 second, people. Okay, I see what's the issue. It's kind of like lagging behind the internet because otherwise the screen should be lagging as well. So yeah, I don't know. I think it might be the game, which I don't know how to work. Let me know if it does improve or if it's just the same. Okay, yeah, I'll continue for like a little bit and then let me know if the sound is improved or not. Otherwise, I need to try and figure that out. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Dollar CAD in terms of Aussie dollar. In terms of Aussie dollar, that's the right one. So again, with Aussie dollar, I'm still very interested in the shorts. However, I need a much bigger pullback, of course. As we mentioned, multiple occasions, still looking for a retest of 0.638 or some downside, and hopefully we can find some shorts in the next coming days. At the moment, the price is still kind of within this channel, so I'm not really interested um, about shorts in these areas. Not that we can't see some downside, it's just because we've taken out some major lows, which you pointed to. I do expect price to have a much bigger pullback. So if we are going to continue in this bearish trend, price does need to have a breather. So although we could see another lower high in comparison to the prior high there, I still think the price action looks not bad. We are still lacking in momentum. You can see the last time we pushed into the high there, we had very, very small bearish candles as we made that move down. So not really a sign of a strong, powerful rejection that says, okay, the sellers are jumping into the market, buyers exiting, and we could go for a bit of a move to the downside. So if we could see a strong rejection there, I'll probably be a bit more confident with the shorts. Still not really a trade that I will look for. It's a bit more of a shorter term move since we are moving the channel. I'm still waiting for a pullback into that area and judging on how price is looking candlesticks and how price is moving, how corrective we are, we probably are gonna get that move into this area here at some point. So staying patient for that for Aussie dollar, but overall, um, yeah, overall, I am looking for shorts, just looks like we'll probably see some short-term upside. In terms of New Zealand dollar as well, same situation too, kind of moving in this corrective channel. Not the best drawing, but you guys get what I mean. And as you can see, came back into the high very sloppy, small body candles, not really showing much momentum as well. So unless we were to come back up in the afternoon and reject it very heavily in the New York session, then okay, we can probably look at that again. But if not, we probably will see price break the high there. And again, hopefully price does that, at least for my sake anyway, because I will be looking for some more downside. And I do have a couple levels which look good on the daily chart, which I'll be looking for a retest of for some shorts. So New Zealand dollar, do you want to see the move to the upside so I can catch that next major lower high and find some downside opportunities off the back of that? Pretty much the same as Aussie dollar, of course. They pretty much do the same thing most of the time anyway. So looking for that bigger correction for both of them and hopefully a much bigger move to the downside. But I do prefer New Zealand dollar a lot more because if I go to the weekly chart, actually the daily chart, we do have this low here back in 2022, which the market hasn't taken out yet. So I do think we've got a reason to head lower because we still got liquidity underneath these lows and even these lows here, which are COVID, yeah, 2020. We still got the lows there to take out as well. So I do fancy the upside because I do expect the market to keep falling. In terms of gold, so much better. Okay, I have no idea what I did. Messed around with the game, but okay, we've got a positive reaction there. Hopefully, it stays that way. If it does, mess up again, let me know, and, I will mess around with the game again with the mic, which I really need to learn to be honest. But, okay, thanks for letting me know, guys. So yeah, in terms of gold, same situation as yesterday as well. Looking for a push back to the high, which is 27.90, we'll call it. Of course, we've just had a lovely break of resistance, which is breaking through the high over there, which is 27.20. We've taken that out. So naturally, for gold, looking for retracement now for a higher low, and again, a continuation to the upside. We have these successive high lows for gold, which we've been printing in the 4-hour chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking for numbers there as well. And of course, the continuation back to the all-time high. So naturally for gold, just looking for retracement. Gold looks crystal clear to me right now. So if we can get that pullback, that was brilliant. Higher low somewhere. Well, not somewhere, specifically there. That's what I'm looking for it to be, not anywhere. But high low at that area, and then hopefully a swing back to the high there as well, and potentially higher. But gold, very, very bullish for, expecting a lot more upside. Silver, same situation in terms of the overall bias and bullish, but we are struggling a little bit with silver's price action, failing at the highs there, not a great sign. We are still pretty consistent with the high lows, but we are failing to break the most recent high. So I do want silver to go and break that high to the upside to show me, okay, the trend is still intact, we're still healthy. In fact, if we keep, respecting the high and potentially break the counter trend line, that's probably more of a sign of a sell-off, potentially back to the lows there as well, which is something I'm not really interested in. So silver is lagging behind a lot behind gold. Gold's looking very bullish. Really impressive breakout past couple of days. Silver, not really seeing that, but I still like it because gold, at least, it's looking very bullish, but it's very, very close to the all-time high. Silver, we've got a long way to go back to this swing high, and of course, high is still a lot higher up, all the way over there around 50. So, of course, I'm not necessarily looking to swing it all the way to the all-time high in one go, but in terms of potential and risk to reward and holding onto a position for a long run, silver probably gonna give you that a little bit more so than gold. So, that's why I like silver, but price action-wise, not that brilliant right now. Hopefully, we can go and break the high and then, find some opportunities in the back of that, catch the next high low in this sequence, and just keep riding that momentum until proven otherwise. But of course, I will watch out for the high there. Yeah, a lot of consolidation, big drop to the downside, a lot of momentum came from that same zone. So watch out for that because it could sell us right back down again. But yeah, for silver, I'm bullish. I'd watch out for the high there because this could be a price forming a lower high or move down. As a trade, just focus on your bias. You have to kind of look at both sides of the market. If the market head down, where's it potentially gonna head down from? I would say we've already had a decent pullback and probably hit 0.635 or 0.618, yeah, just about 0.618, falling held top of that area, it's not a bad place for a sell. The only reason why I'm not looking for a sell is because, I've got a bullish bias long term, so I'm trying to just focus on the buys. But at the end of the day, I have to respect what price is doing, and unless we show more signs of breaking through the highs again, I have to be careful, especially if we go and break through this counter trend line. That's probably a strong sign that says, "Okay, the bears are taking control, and they're probably gonna sell back to the lows there." At that point, I would have to back away, completely for silver. But yeah, if we can break the highs again, looking for the retest and hopefully some more there as well. No problem, Sniper, happy to help. But yeah, hopefully the sound is better. If not, let me know again. Um, okay, yes, we'll go through, yeah, I'm still holding on to my Aussie CAD sells at the moment if we break below the 15 MA on the hour. Okay, let's go take a look. So I'm currently short on Aussie CAD in a bit of drawdown. Hasn't been moving too well, to be honest, but we have respected the area and we're still just about holding that trend line confluence as well, which is keeping me bearish. So as you can see, these prior lower highs, which you marked out with the highlighter, I'm looking for essentially the market to keep that up. And if it does break to the upside, I'll stop out and walk away from that position. But at the moment, my stop loss is just a few pips above the high, came pretty close there during the early hours in the morning, but didn't quite make it. So we'll see if we can turn around. You said you looked as short below the 50 EMA on that hourly chart. Let's look at that. Okay, so ooh, look at that. Price is doing a really good job respecting that support right now. Okay, so if price breaks through that 50, you look to short, I suppose. Break below the 50 now. Okay, look to short. Yeah, I mean, it has acted as a very solid support. I have to be honest. We actually respected it very, very well. So if price does break that, that will be an indication that, okay, buyers are no longer successfully holding the 50. We might be seeing a bit of a bearish phase there, but, yeah, at the moment, price is doing a pretty good job. I respect the 50 and just had another bounce there as well. What about the 4-hour chart? Okay, 4-hour chart, we're nowhere near the 50 there. 50 kind of just been a solid average of price, hasn't really held well. Kept breaking above, breaking below, breaking above, breaking below. Hasn't really respected it well. And that's one of the things to focus on when you're looking at moving averages or exponential moving averages or whatever type of moving average you're looking at. Is moving averages will come into play and price will respect moving averages a lot, and then it will go kind of out of sync with the market and it won't respect the market a lot. So when you are looking at moving averages, it's not a situation where you're looking to buy or sell every time the price does get to a moving average, because at the end of the day, moving average is probably about 50-50 expectation whether the moving average will hold or not. But there will be occasions where you do see numerous bounce off the moving average when the market is very in sync with it, and those are the times you want to trade. And the other times where price is moving, kind of just in and out of moving average and not really respecting it, that's the time you don't want to be looking for entries on the moving average. Um, so there's a time and place to use it, and you can see the difference between the time frames. On the hourly chart, we just saw how well price respects their support. The 4-hour chart hasn't really respected the resistance really well. Yes, on a few occasions, but mostly speaking, it's been breaking above, breaking below, breaking above, breaking below. So not the best time to use it. And again, Aussie has been very, very choppy, but you can see over here, price is respected very, very well on numerous occasions. So when you can see prices respecting it well, that's the time to go and use it. That's the time then jump in and use the moving average until again it starts respecting it not so well anymore, and then that's the time to hold back. You can see here numerous occasions, really powerful test of the moving average. So you want to be looking to get involved at these times. But when the market is choppy and not really respecting it, like over here, that's your indication to stay away. And of course, these periods will come into sync and leave as well. What's up, Manzondi? Welcome to the stream. GJ and Yuri Yen. Okay, Ahmed, we'll take a look. No problem. And suddenly you want to book the day with during Trump's speech. Yeah, that's true. Keeping my fingers crossed until crude oil, natural gas. Okay, are you trading those positions at the moment? Those markets? I will go have a look at them in a second. Yeah, 15 minutes. It's then 50, but it works mostly as a magnet. Yeah, true. I agree. I agree. I mean, there's multiple ways you can use the moving average. You can use it as a magnet. So, if you got a moving average like so, and the market has traded very, very far away from the moving average, and there's a pretty good chance that the market's gonna correct itself at least back towards the moving average at some point. And of course, the further we are away, the more likely the market is gonna correct itself towards the moving average. And that's a really good way to use the moving average as kinda like a mean the mean is the average, and if price is very far away from the mean, expect it to come back towards it at some point. And of course, the other way to use it, looking at it is dynamic support and resistance. So if price comes to it, you're expecting a bounce. Like I said, sometimes the moving average just won't respect the price at all, and other times it will. And you have to be able to spot those moments to use it well. Of course, there's other ways too. You can look at moving average crossovers, got 2 moving averages and then cross. That's your sell signal, and vice versa. Same cross to the upside, and that's your buy signal. Yeah, there's many ways to use, moving averages or to keep you in a trade as well, if it's going in your favor. Um, as before we hit the 4-hour 50 once. Yeah, I mean, that's a common kind of pattern between timeframes to look at. Ping, what is up? CHF short since this 4-hour candle. Okay, I'll take a look. Microphone acting funky again. What's going on? Okay, let me mess around. I haven't touched it, so I don't know why it was acting good and then not. Okay, tell me if that's better. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Just making sure you can hear my voice. 1 second. You should buy different hats for technician purposes and drawing art and stuff. Yeah, I should. I should. Um, okay, is the mic better? Mic is better now? Is it better? I just messed around with the gain again just before you said that, so I don't know if I've messed up again. But yeah, I mean, I need to learn how to use mics a little bit better, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've had this mic for years, but literally all I do is just press it on and then press it off. There's some settings on the back of it. So yeah, I guess I should learn that. It's still sounding horrible. Um, okay, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Any technicians in? That's a good question. Yeah, does anyone know how to use mics or specifically the Blue Yeti microphone. Okay, so okay, so something there. Mike is bad at getting people's sensitivity. Yeah, I don't even know what that means really. Does the game translate for sensitivity? Okay, so gain is not really the gain is just to control your output. It got better, then once I moved it around, it muffles, okay. Is it sounding okay, or do I need to move it around to re-muffle it? Can I tell if the I'm seeing how to use the it says your gain should be set to between 1 and 2 decibels, and how to make that and how to set that. Um, okay, I'm gonna move it a bit. Hello, hello, hello. Is that better? Otherwise, I have no idea how to improve it. And I don't know why it's done that because I haven't touched my mic since I did my stream yesterday. Actually, I did once, but it sounded so I have no idea why it's, sounding different today. And I can't use the audio on my computer because that sounds horrible. Perfect. You sure it's perfect? It did not sound perfect to me. So I'm watching the stream back, I'm trying to listen to it. Sound is good? Okay. I just heard it sounds a bit weird, but sometimes okay, sometimes not. Just continue to understand. Okay, okay, okay. Apologies for that, people. Apologies for that. I have no idea, how to fix it. I mean, I'll try and sort it out for next stream, but then again, I didn't touch the mic, but yeah, we'll continue anyway. We'll go through the yen pairs. Someone requested euro yen and pound yen earlier. I know Manzondi said he's looking at a few pairs as well. We'll go through them shortly, but we'll go through the yen pairs first. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on a few of them. CJY is still my what I'm looking at the most. It kind of just broke up. We'll get to in a second. It kind of broke above my level a little bit. So yeah, euro yen did end up breaking structure. So as long as we kind of continue this, the computer like okay, let me have a go at that. It's computer mic. Let me know if this is at least it's not gonna kind of stutter. I know it's gonna sound horrendous, but it might be just be a bit more consistent. Okay, better. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, with euro yen, not a fan of this one anymore because I have been looking at shorts, but on the flower chart we have broke structure. So essentially, I'm still looking for a pushback down to these lows here at 157. However, we need to remain bearish, and price did not do that yesterday. We broke structure above these highs here. Of course, this was our last high, which gave us our low. So the fact that market has broke the high tells me that there's probably a greater chance now that we do push back to the highs here rather than the swing back to the low at 157. So I've been pretty bearish on Swiss yen all week, but yeah, didn't see the rejection I wanted yesterday. I was looking for price to come up, respect the high again, and then get the sell. We didn't do that. Couple dojis, but price later went and broke the high. So now I would be anticipating a bit more upside for euro yen. Even if price was to correct a little bit, maybe come back and retest the high. I think that could be a solid buy setup to take it back into the next level, which would be this area here. And eventually, of course, the high there, which we just mentioned, just below 165. So yeah, euro yen, I am still bearish long term. Do not be mistaken. I'm still looking at this massive head and shoulder pattern on the higher time frame, but we might still see a push back to the high there first before we do get that follow through. So with euro yen, I'll keep an eye on that longer term move. But in terms of the intraday and the here and now, it does look like euro yen can probably see a bit more upside. Back to 164, 165, and possibly back to the high there at 166.5. So that's kind of my thinking there with euro yen. In terms of dollar yen, I'm still very bullish on this one, but I believe we're looking bullish already. But we were yesterday finding a little bit hard at the highs there. But again, my area of interest is still this level here, which lines up very well with the 50 without the old fib, as we can see. So that's really where my interest lies for dollar yen. Looking for some buys at that area, and hopefully we can take some trades back to the high, and then of course back to the weekly and daily swing high as well, which is all the way up here at 162 or just underneath 162. So very, very bullish on dollar yen. I wonder, have we already formed a low? Is this double bottom here already priced, getting ready for a push potentially? If it was a little bit lower, I would have taken the entries, but unfortunately just missed my zone there. But yeah, dollar yen and bullish at the moment. I probably just look at this as consolidation. Price does go and break the high again, then yeah, we probably will push back to the high there without that bigger move. If we do have another swing to the downside, hopefully that does give me an opportunity to find some entries and take dollar yen to the upside. But I am bullish on this one, looking for upside. If you are on an intraday point of view for this one, I'll see if we can break the high there and then look for pullbacks afterwards. Because if we do that, I would anticipate this being the high and low. And of course, I'll look for price to come back and revisit the high. So I'll be pretty bullish on dollar yen, intraday and swing as well. But yeah, looking for a pushback to the highs at 159. In terms of Swiss yen, I believe Ping said you are short on that one currently. So yeah, C-check JPY, nice bearish engulfing candle. I was looking to short this one yesterday, but we actually broke above that area of support, unfortunately. And at the moment, we're kind of just testing the top of it. So if price can break back underneath this, it could get interesting again, and we could see a lot more downside. Essentially, we are still technically bearish because we haven't taken out this lower high here on the 4-hour chart, as this was the last lower high, which of course gave us that swing to the downside. You mean to do that? That swing to the downside. So as long as we can respect that high, I would be looking at a lot more downside. However, I'm lacking confidence. So although structure's still intact, I'm lacking confidence for my entries. So unless price does start to get back underneath this area, then I'll look for some entries and hopefully we can find a trade back to the low. If we sustain that as support and push on and break the high, as what we did with Euro yen, then of course I will back away. And again, I'm not really bullish, so I wouldn't be looking for buys, but I would expect us to make our way back to resistance at 175.5. So from an intraday level, there could be some nice opportunities on the way back up, probably in the hourly time frame, 30-minute time frame or below. So keep a close eye on that for Swiss yen. But I have to say it's a decent candle close, really nice 4-hour bearish engulfing candle. So I like the entry candle, but in terms of the confidence is backing up the trade, it is lacking from my perspective there. Unless it does come back underneath, then you're looking at a nice opportunity there as well. But even with the trend line connecting the highs, we broke through that a while ago as well. So not particularly nice from that point of view, but we'll see if we can get back below. In terms of pound yen, again, I still like this one to the downside, but I am looking for shorts around the 194.5 area, which is this zone here. Still looking to see if price can have a much bigger pullback to go and test that same level, and hopefully you can find some shorts from that area. Again, looking at the lower time frames, it does look like price is like to push higher anyway. I know we're testing a high here, but we haven't really seen much of a reaction. So I do expect us to give us a move to that area. Then, of course, we'll see how price reacts. If we do get confirmations, then, of course, we'll be looking to short back into the prior low at 189.5, and hopefully back into the low there as well at 188.5 as well. But pound yen, the bearish structure is still intact. Of course, this is the main leg I'm looking at. Really nice bearish leg to the downside. So essentially, I'm looking at the pullback of that leg. If I whip out the fib from the high to the low, you can see we've got the 0.5, 0.618 in that area. That's where the confidence lies, and that's where I'll be looking to take my entries. Otherwise, I just have to wait for pound yen to develop and wait for us to get back into that area. But yeah, very, very bearish for pound yen still anticipating some shorts. In terms of Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, again, these guys stuck in their consolidation, not really interested in the price action. Very, very, very messy scenes here with Aussie yen. And again, as long as we stay within that range, I'm not interested with any type of entries. Just very, very choppy markets. Of course, if you're looking to kind of short the high and buy the low, it makes sense. We've got the conditions for it. So if you're looking for those kind of reverse opportunities to call the tops, call the bottoms of that range, these are the type of conditions where you want to be looking for those opportunities. Once we do break out and we do start to see some momentum, that's when I'll be excited again. And then hopefully we can take advantage of that on some pullbacks. Doesn't necessarily have to be a retest of the range. It can be a retest of resistance somewhere else. But I'm looking for those retests and those buys. And of course, same thing for the downside as well. The price to break the lows and then of course some pullbacks. And hopefully, once we get back to these highs here, then I can start looking for a longer term swing. Because the daily chart, which again is still very much the continuation of this bearish leg, viewing this as the correction of that, another push back to the high, and then the sell. That is still very much what I'm looking at for again, but again, we're a very, very long way away from that. So we can find some buys in between on the way up. And for New Zealand yen, pretty much the same thing as well. As we can see, price is having a lot of fun consolidating. Just not really interested in the price action right now. Again, same situation as Aussie yen, waiting for it to break the high, and then of course pull back to the high there, which is at 92.5. Let's turn to the daily chart. Again, still viewing this correction As the correction for this bearish leg, and of course, hopefully you can find some shorts, ride it back to the lows, and so on and so forth. So that could be a very, very big trade, which is why I'm kind of just staying patient for that, waiting for the right time. At the moment, consolidating very far away from that level. So hopefully I can find some buys on the way up and then sell it on the way back down again. That's really what I'm after. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the yen pairs. I don't think I missed one out. CAD yen, that was the one I missed out. CAD JPY as well. This one's still retesting that level of support, now flipped as resistance. So price is doing an okay job at respecting that level. Again, as I said yesterday, because of the way we reacted after the first reaction. So you can see if I drop to the hourly chart, really aggressive move to the downside. Things were looking extremely bearish at that point, but we formed support and then we shot straight back up again. Not a good sign of the healthy correction. You want to see price push down, correct itself, push down, correct itself. That's what you want to see. Not price push down and come straight back into the same high. So although yes, still resistance, we might still see a reaction. I do think the bigger move is probably still going to be there for CAD Yen. And of course, if we do see price break above that resistance sooner, then of course we're just back in the range. I expect to push back the high and push back to this high here as well at 111.5, as I still see this being the larger correction or a big swing to the downside as well. So that's really where I'm at with the yen pairs. Very bearish long term. That's still the way I see the market. However, there's no kind of opportunity for me to trade that bias just yet. So I have to stay patient. And a few yen pairs do look good for the buys. Dollar yen looks very good. Aussie yen and New Zealand yen could look good should they break out. But I'm not really interested in Swiss yen or Euro yen for the buys. There's not a lot of room to work with, at least for the swing trades I'm looking for. But yeah, once we get to those highs, we can start looking for the shorts again, and hopefully some move back down. But yeah, Euro yen broke structure yesterday, so can't be interested in the sells anymore. We need to be respecting structure, but I'm going to be shorting. Breaking through is not a healthy sign there, so kind of staying away from that as we do develop. Anyway, Mandel, you said a few pairs earlier. It's been a while. Okay, so you're looking at crude oil, natural gas. What are you doing with those markets? I know oil. I've been saying, I've been pretty bearish in oil, as we've had that kind of fake out, if you will, of that high. So price had resistance there, broke above it, broke straight back below, still respecting the trend line, but we did break above it, of course, essentially broke back below it again. So as long as price can maintain that respect to those areas, I do expect another lower high to form, which of course would be this high here, and that would translate to another swing back into the lows at 66. So very, very bearish on oil. I do still see a lot of downside for this one, as long as we can respect this area and we don't go and break back above it. Yeah, that's what's going to keep me bearish. Should we do that, of course, I'll be bullish again. But if we can stay below, very, very bearish and look more downside. In terms of opportunities, not really much there left to go back and retest the high. Sure, if you drop to the low time frame, there are opportunities here. It's nice pullbacks on the low time frames there. Nice double top there, nice swing to the downside. So if price can continue that, there could still be some more shorts on the hourly chart, 30-minute chart, 15. But we are still pretty corrective, so I do think we'll go for a bigger push to the upside at some point, whether it's to retest the level or just pull back. So yeah, I do think that will happen at some point. But yeah, steadily falling to the downside. So it's pretty much still short. Probably watch out for this. So here, never reaction. Maybe that's the zone it does. Just back to the high. But yeah, still short bias and still falling pretty well. So oil will still be pretty bearish on. Natural gas. Natural gas. Let me have a look at the weekly chart. Okay, not quite at that high just yet. Okay, natural gas. Still pretty bullish, I would say. Seeing some signs of us slowing down, so we could be looking at a bigger reversal at some point. But let's say if it's a push back into the low again, I would suggest that's a nice place for a buy. Even the high there as well. That still looks like a nice place for a buy. You see how consistent we are with these high lows. As long as we keep that up, I would still anticipate more upside there for natural gas. I do think we're going to go through a pretty big sell at some point, though. We had that insane drop there. I do think price is going to eventually see another one of those moves back down. And I'm kind of looking at this high here being the area. So might see an upside battle for another couple of weeks, ish, give or take. But eventually, I do think we'll go for a pretty big sell. But as of right now, everything's still looking pretty bullish. So I do like the buys there. Of course, maybe we do have a bit of a sell beforehand to see that move back down to those lows. But I would still be looking for the buys there. In terms of the indices, I was supposed to go through them earlier, but we had some mic difficulties, so I forgot about them. So yeah, US 30 looking very bullish. I believe all the indices or the US indices are looking very bullish. NAS, okay, I'm still looking bullish, but it looks like we're having a good correction there. And S&P, yes, new all-time highs. Okay, not quite, just missed it. Just missed it. So, but yeah, it's pretty much at the all-time highs anyway. But yeah, the indices still look pretty bullish. So in terms of opportunity, I'll probably say S&P done and dusted because we've already seen a big bullish move. We're testing the all-time highs pretty much. So S&P has done its job, although I still do expect high prices because I do think we're probably going to take out the all-time highs. We might have a bit of a correction first and then go do it. So I still do see more upside for the S&P. But in terms of the quality of the opportunity, I would say NAS and US 30 look a lot better because they're not at the all-time highs yet. They've still got a bit of a way to go. But I do expect them to copy what S&P is doing. And again, you can see we broke out to that channel a while ago. Then we broke resistance here. Yes, that said it would be nice if price was back, retest support, and then find some buys there. That's kind of the same setup I gave out for NAS and for US 30 as well. It looks like these guys were just too bullish yesterday and just kept flying. Maybe now we're seeing the correction, but for S&P, I'd say it's a little bit too late. We're already testing the high. I mean, it's not a bad area for a reaction, a little bit deeper. I still fancy us to have a reaction there. But if I go take a look at NAS 100, which hasn't tested the high yet, go to the 4-hour time frame, we've still got the high over here, still pretty long way up. On the Discord, I mentioned NAS looking really good in terms of momentum, in terms of the breakout. So for this one, I would suggest keep a close eye on some pullbacks at intraday level. It looks like we're kind of seeing that going, kind of seeing that happening right now. So again, yesterday I was talking about the retest of this area, but price flew. Not too far away from it actually, so I wouldn't be too surprised should we see a move back to that zone within the next, I don't know, can we get there in the New York session? Yeah, I'd probably say we could. It's not too far away. Yeah, 2, 3 candles, boom, we're there. So yeah, I was going to say potentially tomorrow, but we could do it today as well. But yeah, in terms of the price action, still looking very bullish in my book right now. NAS, and I would be fancying us to push back to the highs there. So that's why I like this one because there's still opportunity. There's still targets to be hit for NAS, whereas S&P we can't hit that already. So I would shift the focus over to NAS. We've been pretty consistent with the higher lows here on the 4-hour chart, 2, 3, 4. Basically, just looking for the next one, and hopefully we can find some entries there to take it back to the high. So yeah, I'll be looking at a little bit more downside there for the NAS. A little bit more downside, retest this area, and then hopefully find some buys accordingly, at least back to the high there at 21,960. but the real target will be the all-time high. You see, we're taking out these highs down the left, and taking out this high here as well. So even that's a strong indication that okay, the buyers are really taking control because we're not respecting those prior highs on the left. So just expecting more of the same. Another swing. In terms of US 30, pretty much the same situation as well. Nice move to the upside. I was talking about the retest of this zone yesterday. Unfortunately, didn't quite see that happen. Market continued to the upside, moving pretty flat right now. But again, it would be nice to have a bit of a sell-off for a higher low. Of course, we're on our way to the upside. But for the same reason as NAS, why it looks attractive, it's the same reason why US 30 looks attractive. Even US 30 is a bit more so. US 30, the all-time highs are all the way back there, 45K, 45,100. And you can see we've still got a bit of a distance between the current price and that all-time high. So there's still opportunity to the upside. Even if price doesn't retrace and go and test that area of resistance, even if we just have another strong break, it's a pretty good chance we'll probably come back and retest the next area, which might be this range here, which again could give you a nice opportunity intraday and still give you a pretty good risk reward back to the high at 45K, or even if it's just back to the swing high in the lower charts as well, probably get a decent positive risk reward. So in terms of what I'm seeing here with US 30, I'm seeing a very bullish trend. We broke through bear structure a while ago. This was our lower high, which gave us this big sell to the downside. Market since gone and broken through that, and now being pretty consistent with the higher highs and higher lows. So as long as this momentum continues, I would say keep looking to buy US 30. Whether we have another breakout and then we look to retest the range, or price does go through a retracement, it respects this next area, and then we buy up to the upside as well. Either which way, very, very bullish there on US 30. So yeah, expecting a lot more of the same. I like the high time frames as well, still looking very bullish. And naturally expecting price to keep pushing. Hey, what's up, Lord? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Is anyone looking to trade the indices at the moment? Last time I had a look at the DAX, that one was actually soaring through the sky. Yeah, doing the exact same thing as of right now as well. So yeah, with the indices, with how bullish everything is, I would only be looking to buy. Of course, this market is pretty extended. We would whip out, let's say, the 200 moving average here. 200 or 50? 50. If we were to whip out the 200 moving average, you can still see, price hasn't come back to revisit for a while. Last time we tested the 200 moving average was all the way back down here, which was back in August 2024. So we haven't tested for a while. Probably due a test. If you look at the frequency of how often we come and test the 200 moving average, we do of course go through those spells where we don't test the moving average for a while, come back and have that reaction there as well. Nice big push, eventually came back with the reaction test here. So June, and the next time we had another test was the following year, March. So that's quite a while. And I would say that this current move here, tested in last year, August, probably going to have a test maybe February, March, I would say. So we'll probably due a correction. We haven't tested for a while. So what we said earlier about using a moving average in multiple ways, probably the best way to use a moving average is because the moving average is, it's in the names, there's the average of price for a given period of time. Like that. For a given period of time, of course, this is the 200 moving average. So the past 200 days, the average of those past 200 days is illustrated with this with that line there. So the market is not going to stay away from the moving average forever. It will correct back down, and you can see how extended we are looking right now. So the retracement is definitely due. The only trick is that okay, the market is extended away from the mean, away from the moving average. Should you just look to try and short every opportunity you find to anticipate that move back down? Probably not, because you probably go through like 3, 4, 5, 6 losing trades before you do hit the winner. Yeah, so you probably go through many losses before you actually get the winner, and then potentially the winner might not even make up for the loss as well. Maybe in this case it probably would do because it's pretty far down, but equally so is probably not the best way to trade it. So the beauty of using moving average in that way, you want to focus on markets which are pretty choppy. So for example, say we do have a very choppy market like this, and then you got your 200 moving average or whatever moving average running through price like that, then you know that once you do see extended move, there's a pretty good chance that price is going to revert back to the mean. This is an opportunity which makes sense to try and call the bottom, because that's the current condition of the market. Every time you do have an extended move, market reverts to the mean, market reverts to the mean, market reverts to the mean. So it's a very good chance that we do that again. In a trending market, which is doing this, seeing higher highs and the moving averages lagging behind there, then trying to short these highs is where it becomes a bit more difficult. Because yes, you might even catch a nice move into a bit of profit, but there's no guarantee that we come back and actually test the moving average. There's a good chance we form a high low and then your profits disappear. Same thing there as well, profits disappear. So especially like a market like an indice like the DAX, isn't the best market to try and short those highs, at least not for a long period of time. We are due a pullback, yes, but the pullback could very much be like this, and then we fly again. So if you try to hold on for a trade all the way to the moving average, there's a very high chance it's going to turn against you at some point before it gets to the moving average, just like it did over here. Correction, continuation, correction, continuation. So you have to take that into consideration. But an FX pair where we chop around quite a lot, you have a bit more luck, there. So staying present to the condition of the market will mean a lot going forward. But yeah, DAX is looking very bullish. Actually, an index which makes a lot of sense to do that is the UK 100, because this one chops around a lot. I know we've just had a really impressive move to the upside the last few days, but you can see how choppy this one gets. This one frequently comes back to test the moving average quite a lot more. See, look at the conditions here. Very, very corrective. And every time the market forms a high, it comes back to the mean, low back to the mean, low back to the mean, high back to the mean, low back to the mean. Of course, eventually does break out because the conditions are going to last forever. But there's numerous opportunities on both sides of the market there to take advantage of buys. And we are a little bit overextended, but we're still within the range, and there's still a pretty good chance that we do come back into the moving average. So those are the type of conditions you want to be looking for, something like this as well, if you're looking to play that type of market as well. But then generally speaking, the UK 100, the FTSE is more corrective, more choppy than like the DAX or the US indices. So shorting or buying towards the moving average probably give you a much better success rate in general. Of course, now it looks like we're going for a breakout. Of course, as we all know, not every strategy is going to work all the time. So in this situation here, it might be the situation where UK 100 does go and push on a lot. Eventually, probably will have that big drop down, big drop back down, as it always does. But this is probably the time where it does have a bit of a move. But yeah, generally speaking, for the indices, still very, very bullish for both of them. UK 100 is breaking out. DAX is looking very bullish. US 30, S&P now is all looking very bullish. They're probably due corrections, but naturally expecting them to continue. Look at Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin looking a little bit bearish. I have to say it's not looking good at this high. It is not looking good. Don't get me wrong, the overall market conditions are still very, very bullish. A lot of people get too caught into current price and kind of take that to heart. If you just zoom out, hop on the weekly chart, hop on the monthly chart, see what the overall market structure is doing. It's very, very bullish. Had a correction there, new highs, another big push to the upside, new highs. Quite frankly, this is kind of just consolidation right now. So even if you were to drop to the downside, retest this area, that's still a great place for some longs. Of course, if you zoom into that, it's probably very, very bearish from the intraday time frame. So a lot of people will be pulling their hair out and screaming. But a move like that is just a pretty healthy correction, in my opinion. I know it's a pretty big drop because price is at 105K and it drops to 75K. So that's pretty much like a 30% drop. So it can be a bit of a steep correction, but it's still pretty much a healthy one in relation to current price action. But with that said, looking at the lower time frames, it's not looking too good. The fact is, we just swept the high, and then price dropped the downside very aggressively. Not a good sign of a market that's trending healthy. It's a sign of a market that's in a pause. Again, we could break to the upside with some newfound bullish momentum from somewhere, and things are looking really good again. But until that happens, probably going to stay within this range here and just kind of chop around a little bit. Maybe we do get that bigger pullback to 73, 74K, or maybe we just break the high and we could look for some opportunities on the retest of that. But what I would say is stay away from the noise in here because it's going to get choppy, it's going to get chaotic, and you're probably going to get good entries with some healthy stop losses. There'll be a situation where you get stopped out a few times before seeing price move in your direction. So yeah, with Bitcoin, I'd watch out for that, but yeah, not a great break at the high. I was hoping for a little bit more momentum there. So looking at Ethereum with the knowledge that Bitcoin's probably going to roll over, probably can see that happen as well. Ethereum, I mean, Ethereum's already got the double top over there, the lower high, the lower low, and the lower low there as well. So as I said, not yesterday, the day before, probably are going to form a lower high in this region to push back into the lows here. I said if we were to get pushed back to the high up there, I think that'd be a really nice short to catch the next lower high and then catch the swing to the low. Again, as I zoom out to the daily chart, the way I look at Ethereum's got we've got the equal highs there, equal lows back here. The market has just been consolidating between them. For me, this looks like the range, and this looks like a really big fake out of that same range. So as long as price is comfortably in that range there, I don't really see much there for Ethereum in terms of a bigger swing to the upside. If you can break the highs, that will give me confidence with Ethereum, and I'll be looking for the all-time highs, which are not too far away. But yeah, we're probably going to chop around for a bit now, unfortunately. In terms of a trading opportunity, I'd probably say keep an eye for something like this, a push back to the high, and then some shorts. That looks the best to me. So yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with crypto. Not looking great right now, but it might just be the short term, and then we fly on later. Anyway, I'm going to start to go through some of the crosses and some of the other CAD pairs as well. We went through Aussie CAD. Did we go through New Zealand CAD? I can't remember, but we'll do it anyway. And then we'll go through Euro CAD, Pound CAD, and then the crosses. So New Zealand CAD, again, as I said yesterday and the day before, I shorted New Zealand Aussie CAD, but both New Zealand CAD and Aussie CAD set up together. Both gave me a similar setup. And I chose to trade Aussie CAD because that one's got a bit more mileage to the downside. So I know that if it does play out, I can hold into that trade a lot longer and potentially make a lot more in terms of the risk reward. But New Zealand CAD looked equally as good. I'm still pretty bearish with this one, looking for a push back to the swing low down here. That's still very much the plan. Again, we formed these prior highs on the daily / 4-hour chart. Ideas that we're looking for another one. And again, another drop back into the lows there. Still very much the plan. Dropping to the 4-hour chart. Things are a little bit choppy, I must admit. But it looks like we are creating some resistance here and struggling to break through. To be honest, we have used the moving average pretty well as resistance here on the 4-hour chart. As you can see, really nice rejection there, nice rejection there, nice rejection there, nice rejection there. Bit of a fake out there, and we're in that same area again, although not really respecting that well. But when a healthy area for a correction, pretty sure we came into at least the 50 of the fib. Yeah, almost switched to 618, but at least into the 50. And as you can see, respecting some support on the left there, some resistance as well. So in terms of the quality of the setup, it's just as good as the Aussie CAD position, which I took. The same boxes. So the only difference was really that Aussie CAD potentially fall further, at least based on my analysis anyway. So that's why I chose that one. But they've pretty much done the same thing. Both had a bit of downside, shot back up and retesting the same high. So let's see if they can both respect that level, and hopefully you can catch some sells back to the lows, and hopefully further as well, because on the higher time frames, weekly, monthly chart, I do think for New Zealand CAD, we're probably going to come back to these lows eventually. Zoom out, look at the major highs, they're all forming low lows and lower highs. So I do expect us to head back to that low eventually. But for now, this is our next major support level. So that's really where the focus lies. But yeah, very, very bearish on New Zealand CAD, looking for a drop. In terms of pound CAD and euro CAD, so yeah, pound CAD, I've talked about some sales for this one. Haven't really seen much of a reaction. Talked about this area here. Price did have a really strong wick rejection of that area. Again, small reaction, but hasn't really lived up to much. And quite frankly speaking, I probably view that as more consolidation right now. There we go. More consolidation right now on the hourly chart. So I'll probably wait for price to break through that, and that will probably be the sign that says, okay, we've got a good chance of selling off right now and probably heading back to that low. But yeah, pound CAD I'm still pretty bearish on. I'm looking for that trend on that daily chart to reverse, or at least give us a bit of a counter trend move. We've seen a few signs that says, okay, the market is running out a bit of steam. Of course, got the equal highs over there. We've got these really strong, aggressive retracements, which again are not healthy retracements. We don't normally see market make moves like that, at least when it's continuing. And the fact is, we almost took out the lows there. We did pinch on the lower time frame, just about wick through. I haven't seen a confident candle closure yet, which would be the icing on the cake. But I do think we'll eventually see that soon. Just looking for the next lower high in that sequence. And as I mentioned, the 4-hour chart, this was the area I was looking for price to respect and push back down. But as I said, it's just kind of consolidating. So if you're looking for entries for pound CAD, I would wait for it to break. The consolidation in the hourly chart, wait for it to break, and then start looking for some opportunities on some pullbacks, and hopefully write it back down again. But yeah, the structure is not quite there yet, so probably not the best trade to take. I know we have formed these lower lows and lower highs, but it would be best if we can take out the low here well and anticipate more downside. In terms of Euro CAD, this one I have not been interested in at all, really. It's a very, very choppy market. Again, very sideways, very flat on the higher time frame, which is what's keeping me out the market. As long as we stay flat like this, I'm not interested. As someone who likes to trade pullbacks, not the best way to trade it. All right, take care. We'll have a good one, my man. We'll see you tomorrow. If it's like I appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, make sure you go and hit the bell as well, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Do apologize for the audio people. For some reason, my mic doesn't want to play ball. Hopefully, I can sort that out for my next stream. I think I am going live with Trading Nick later today, so hopefully I can sort out the mic before that. If not, should be sorted out before tomorrow. So yeah, apologies for that, people. But I appreciate coming on. We'll have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. But like you said, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, leave a like, subscribe. It does really help out. And of course, hit the bell too. But yeah, EuroCAD extremely flat. Haven't really been interested in trading this one for a while. We have broken to the upside. Looks like price going to push back into the high. Well, it has pushed into the high. But again, looking at the lower time frames here for EuroCAD, it is extremely flat. I would say in terms of opportunities, something like this would be nice. Another push into the low and trying to look to catch a buy off that. We have seen numerous high lows on the lower time frames. As long as we can respect support, there's still a good chance we do push on. And at least the push back to the highs here. But I think we can probably target the wick over there. Probably locking gains at that first level and then hold positions to run. And that probably will take us back to the resistance on the 4-hour chart, which is this level here. So yeah, from an intraday standpoint, EuroCAD does look like it's got a bit more upside in the tank. Maybe longer term, we've probably got a big sell to look forward to. At least that's kind of what I'm looking at. As we approach the high end of this channel, I do think we can see a pretty big move back down to the low. So that's where the bearish bias comes from. But in my book, definitely not quite ready yet to be shorted. So I would be a bit careful with that. In terms of Euro pound NZD, Euro pound coming to an area where again we might see some downside. We've had price going to break structure there as well. Again, I'm keeping a close eye on the monthly chart because is this the monthly chart? No, that's the 11th monthly chart. So there we go. So as you can see, prices respect support very, very well here, numerous occasions, and again this month we're looking pretty bullish at the moment. So I do fancy some more upside there for Euro pound. But in terms of opportunities, I haven't really got one yet. I mean, I did have one, but it broke through the area and kind of left me hanging. I was looking for the retest of that level there, but unfortunately, price never came back for the retest. So I was looking to see if price can come back, retest the area, find the next higher low in this bullish sequence here. So of course, with the higher lows there, stacking the break of the resistance, looking for the retest, and then I was looking to trade back towards that high, but price was just so bullish, it broke to the upside and just kept pushing. So unfortunately, missed that one. I do think, however, there could be some nice sells in the short term because even though, yes, we're still trading in a massive area of daily, monthly support, but we are pretty bearish still in terms of the trend, and we have been forming these lower highs. And if the market was to push a little bit higher up, I do think this is a nice place to consider some shorts. So, of course, retesting some major support there once, twice. You can see the lower highs connected there. I think this is a really nice area of confidence where we'll probably due a reaction. Even if the bigger moves to the upside, probably can get some sells for a while, and then we can focus on the longs a little bit later. But that is a strong area of confidence just above price. And if you are short biased, especially from a swing point of view, I think shorts around 0.85 make the most sense. So I'll keep a close eye on that. But yeah, Euro pound, the buys have definitely gone now. Way too far. And frankly, the price action right now is looking really corrective. So I do think a move to the downside is pretty likely. And that's one of the key characteristics to keep an eye out on a market that is trending, whether we're breaking highs well, having nice pullbacks with healthy distance between them, or if the market is doing something like this, having really nice, it doesn't have to be nice, but impulsive leg to the upside, but then impulsively retraces pretty quickly, and then has another push to the upside, breaking the high, but then it impulsively retraces pretty quickly again, so on and so forth. This is a sign of a market that is getting pretty tired and probably going to break to the downside pretty soon, which is what we're seeing here. Every time the market does go and break the high, we push down pretty hard, break the high, push down pretty hard. This time we haven't pushed down pretty hard, but you can see we're breaking the high not by much distance, and we're having price becoming very choppy now. Whereas in this example, we're having price break the high by a pretty big distance all the way up there, and then you'll have a slower pullback, and again break the high by a lot of distance. You go for a next pullback, and these are the signs of a healthy market, and a market which looks good to follow, at least for the next bullish leg or next bearish leg. Not every healthy trend is going to stay healthy. It's going to eventually time and become corrective as well. But the beauty of it is that when you do see a market that is correctively moving like this, especially coming into a higher time frame area of confluence, like a resistance level, support level, trend line, you can look for those reversal opportunities, either waiting for price to break out that channel and looking for some pullbacks after that, or the more aggressive route is to try and call the tops as we do take them out and then catch the shorts from that end. Both are good opportunities. This opportunity we get into the trade much earlier, therefore much better risk to reward. But this is probably a safe opportunity here. And at least at that point, you've seen evidence of price breaking structure, aka breaking out of that corrective channel. And course, your risk reward might not be as good, but you still probably get a better entry. And maybe this is the entry that's going to allow you to lose less, so be a bit more conservative. Whereas you probably take a little bit more losers in this case, but hopefully the risk reward will make up for that. Either which way, both nice ways to play the market. Should you see correct moves like this. So again, in terms of that high time frame area of confluence, it would be nice if you were to maintain this correct behavior back into that high, and then from there is where you look at your shorts. Instead to try and catch the high, wait for price to break out of that channel, and look for some pullbacks afterwards. Either way, it looks like good opportunities to me. So that's kind of really where I'm at with euro pound. In terms of Aussie New Zealand dollar, yeah, this one still looks like a myth in terms of the price action. Very, very choppy. Not really seeing much clarity in price action. I mean, I know what I'm looking to do in terms of the daily time frame. Still seeing consistent higher highs and higher lows. So as long as we keep that up, I'm still looking for the buys here with Aussie New Zealand dollar. In fact, I'm looking for price to come back and retest the high here, and hopefully find some longs off the back of that and take it back into prior high, which is 1.117. So that is really the plan there with Aussie New Zealand dollar. However, of course, you can see we're nowhere near that high for a retest. So hopefully this one can have the bigger pullback. And again, the reason why I say that is, again, the market is still really corrective as well, which we just spoke about. Look how often the price does take up the high. The only thing this lacks is probably an impulsive retracement. But as you can see, every time we do sweep the high, price comes back down again. So again, not really a sign of a healthy trend in the market. I'm looking for a push to the downside at one point, and hopefully I can find my entries on the retest of that zone there. We do have some nice trend line confluence connecting the highs, connecting the lows, sorry. So looking to see if I can catch that next bounce at this area and hopefully swing it back to the high. Bristol looks pretty good there as well. And I would assume positive swap as well. It's been a long time since I bought Aussie New Zealand dollar, but I guess buys you'd probably get positive swap. And I say that because if you do get into any swing trades for Aussie New Zealand dollar, it does take its time. So it's a pair that you do want to focus on trying to stay with that positive swap. Although I don't think the negative swap will be a lot though. I think the interest rates between Aussie and New Zealand dollar, Aussie and New Zealand dollar are pretty much the same. If not, they're slightly they don't differ much, so it shouldn't be heavy swaps like maybe some of the CHF pairs. But yeah, I'll be looking at those pairs for that. In terms of like pound NZD and pound Aussie, again, these guys are coming into some areas where I'm looking for some buys. Very, very consistent in terms of the high lows. One back there, second, third, fourth and fifth, but double bottom there. Number 6 over there, and again looking for number 7. Talked about the retest of the high here and looking for a bounce off that level. And hopefully we can look for a swing all the way back to the high. As I mentioned yesterday, even if I don't catch a swing all the way to the high, even if it's just a third of the way, it's more than enough for me to remove risk and still walk away with a small win should price turn against me. Of course, if it goes the whole way, great stuff. I'll be looking to capitalize on that as well. But yeah, looking for a bit more downside there for pound NZD. We are becoming a little bit more choppy now. But again, intraday, the market has been falling pretty well. A little bit flat at the moment. It looks like we are consolidating. But again, if you're on the short term side of things for pound NZD, I'll say some sales back at the high here look good. Another push down, essentially looking to play the range. But again, at least if you find some entries here, still also above the high. And then you can get some targets back down into the low there at 2.169,890. And of course, you do have a support there as well, but I would say probably bank mostly profits at the low. It makes the most sense just in case we bounce back up again, and you can always leave some positions to run. But I'd say in terms of the shorts, it does look pretty good on the low time frames. You still got a lot of momentum in your favor. Really big drop to the downside, still seeing low lows and low highs. I know we're a bit sideways now, but if we are going to break to the downside, Then if we do push back up again, find your entries, lock a stop loss in. Probably want to find the entries on maybe the 30-minute chart, maybe even 15, just to really refine the entry and maximize that risk reward. And of course, you got a nice swing back into the low. But then, of course, once we get there, I'll be looking for my buys to take it back up again. As I mentioned, for those higher lows, the plan is very much still come into this area, find a buy to take it back up again. That's really where I'm at with pound, New Zealand dollar. In terms of pound Aussie, it's pretty much the same situation as well. Again, if I highlight the higher lows, one over there, kind of a double bottom, but the second, third over there, fourth, fifth, look at number 6. And again, we have a lovely retest of this high here, which price has come very, very close to. So again, with pound and pound Aussie looking for a bit more downside before you start to look at some longs. We do have this moving average running through price here as well, which looks like it's probably gonna meet up with the pound Aussie pullback as well. So should we kind of consolidate a little bit more and then drop, probably we'll see the moving average lying with it, which again adds to the confidence of the trade. Hopefully we can swing it back to the high and maybe higher as well. So that's really what I'm looking at for pound Aussie. But again, if I do drop to the intraday level, actually I would say this one's not looking as good as the shorts for pound NZD intraday. Pound NZD is kind of consolidating a little bit better. This one's just very, very corrective on the way down. It's kind of like slowly culled into a bit of a range there, which is really attractive. Pound NZD is very, very flat, which means that the highs and lows stand up pretty well. The highs and lows stand up pretty well, so the entries look better and stop losses look a lot better. But pound Aussie looking very, very corrective, not as neat and tidy. So yeah, not too far away from the support level. So I hope you can see price kind of roll over today or tomorrow. If not, maybe entries form early next week, but looking at some opportunities in that level. In terms of their partner in crimes, Euro Aussie and Euro NZD. So with these two pairs, I do like the downside because of where they're trading. Euro Aussie, if I go to the daily chart here, again, it's not the best opportunity in the world, but if you're looking at mean reversion, looking at price to respect major resistance and turn around, this is not a bad level for it. Price has come back into such a big level here. And as you can see, we've got equal lows there, equal highs. So there's your first test. Didn't need to do that. There's your first test, there's your second test, of course, there's your initial test of that support level, and you've got 2 more after. So price has been really respecting that level as support, and that is definitely an area where we can bounce from. At the moment, we are testing the high here, which of course you can see reacted really big moves to the downside. So again, potentially we could see that happen again. Those are the 2 levels I would consider shorting Euro Aussie from if I was looking to play the range. So either the retest of this level or the retest of that level there. Of course, should this level break, then that's going to become my new focus. But as of right now, still doing a pretty good job respecting that high. In terms of entries, I would suggest for Euro Aussie, still another push back to the high and then some shorts there. That's kind of really where you want to focus your entries. At the moment, the market is moving sideways, and kind of is the theme with Euro Aussie: flat price action, flat price action, choppy price action, not really seeing much momentum. So we've seen that in abundance. But if we can see price push back into the high, great area for entries, great area for stop loss as well. You don't have to have it too big. You have it pretty tight above the high there. And of course, in terms of risk reward, you're really maximizing that because you're right at the high. So should price move in your favor, like a really big swing, even just back to the low here. If I expand to the daily chart, you can see we can go a lot further than that. Should you really get that sell, back to the lows here, that could really be your target. But I would at least have, multiple targets there for Euro Aussie, or at least try to stop loss just to protect my downside, because otherwise, in a choppy pair like this, you can easily see price fluctuate, tag your stop loss, or tag you at break even just to continue as well. So locking in gains along the way is by far the best way to trade, whether it's partials or trading stop loss. But yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with Euro Aussie. Like I said, if that fails, then I'll look at that same opportunity at the high there at 1.70557. hopefully get some entries off the back of that. In terms of Euro NZD, it's partner in crime. This one's just trading at a massive level of resistance, I'm pretty sure. So you can take this level across here, as you can see, lovely resistance, lovely support down there. The market has just been fluctuating between those two levels. So again, with Euro NZD, we're testing a major level of resistance right now, so I do expect to see a bit of a dip. As long as price can respect that level, I would stay pretty bearish for Euro NZD. Of course, we break out something else, and people looking at a really big move to the upside. But as of right now, we're expecting the high there at 1.846. So I do expect to see a bit of a drop. If I go to the 4-hour chart, in terms of entries, I'll probably keep it fairly simple, like Euro Aussie, in terms of a move back into the high. Look for some entries off the back of that, and then look for the sell, because at least at that test high again, find the stop loss and still keep up the risk reward pretty well. And knowing that we're in that area of resistance on the daily chart, so expecting us to react and some downside there. But overall, it's a very, very flat pair. I'm not really interested in myself, but if you're looking for a bit of range play, this is kind of what you're going to be looking at going forward. And of course, in terms of targets, I'd probably suggest that 50% of the range. We've got a pretty good chance of price getting to that area. I think if you're going to look for the full swing, optimistic. Say if you do get short there, you look for the full swing back to below here at 1.74. Not that we can't do it, but it definitely is optimistic. I bet the risk rewards going to be huge for that trade, but it wouldn't kill you to lock in some gains at the 50. And there's a much greater chance of price getting there. Of course, it means that you won't hold your full position for the long way, for the full move. But at least you have paid yourself, and you can then have a little bit more confidence to hold that trade for the full move. Because let's say if you're in a trade here, floating some decent profit, you're about 75% of the way there, and then prices start to show some signs that's about to turn around. Most people will be panicking then, getting out of the trade and just not feeling comfortable, and that's never a really good place to be in. When you end a trade and then prices move against you or for you, it's not becoming stressful, uncomfortable. It means that you're not really in tune with your edge anymore, and you're more kind of relying on your emotions. At least once you pay yourself, that kind of goes away, because worst case scenario, still walk away with profit. So it's not a situation where I'm in profit and the price could turn around against me and I walk away with break even. It's an uncomfortable place to be in. And if you're going to trade like that, you probably want to have a much closer target and not looking for such home runs. 1 hours, 2 hours, you can do that more realistically with those type of risk rewards. But yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with Euro NZD. In terms of some of the C share pairs, we went with the CAD pairs, with the dollar and the yen. I haven't looked at dollar C share yet. Let me have to look at that one. Last time I had a good look at dollar C share, we were respecting the weekly level resistance, and yeah, we're still doing a pretty good job of that. As long as price can maintain that, we probably could go for a bit of a sell. This is another pair that has been moving pretty choppy. Equal highs over there and equal lows over here as well. So as long as price maintains that kind of balance between that resistance and support, we'll probably continue to range fluctuate. And if price can break the high here, then I'll start speaking about some breakouts for dollar CHF. You push back to these highs or those highs there. There's definitely a lot of upside potential there for dollar CHF. But at the moment, we're respecting the high pretty well. As I drop the 4-hour chart, they're starting to form some low lows and lower highs here. So I say shorts look good here from an intraday point of view. Drop into the hourly chart, nice pair of structure. See the high over there, drop lower low, lower high, and the lower low there as well. So again, you could probably go through some more downside. Some nice rejection of the high there. Could sell off from that. We might push up a little bit higher, tap into that area, and then sell. But either one of those highs look good for a short to medium intraday. I'll keep it pretty simple. Just target the low there, keep it simple, and not trying to be too optimistic. I know we're trading from a massive level of resistance where we could really sell off from. but I still kind of do have a bullish bias for dollar, so I wouldn't be as comfortable with the full swing. Maybe we do, but until dollar starts to shift and break back underneath support, which I'll show you guys in a second, can't be too bearish long term with the DXY at the moment in time. But in terms of the intraday price action, still seeing really nice lower lows and lower highs. As I suggested, if we can maintain that, I do think we can pull. If not, then it'll be this area here. And then again, another short to the downside looks really good. In terms of the dollar, I'll go for the rest of the CHF pairs in a second. Like I said, in terms of the dollar, as long as we stay above, it's the weekly chart, as long as we stay above this level of resistance, that is what's keeping me very, very bullish. Very bullish, sorry. That's what's keeping me very, very bullish. As long as we stay above that resistance level, the moment we break it back underneath, then things get very awkward. I'd probably consider that to be a really big fake out. Should we get back below the same level, then of course I'll be looking for this full swing back to below the range, because once we do get a fake out, there's a pretty good chance that we do see follow through in the opposite direction. And if we are ranging, there's a pretty good chance we do see a push back to the opposite end of the range. So in this situation, I'll be a lot more confident in USD getting back down to these prices and probably a lot further as well. So very, very bearish on dollar if we do break 107. As of yet, we haven't done that. So the bullish bias remains intact, and I would be looking at a pretty big bounce from this area. So dollar, as I said, as long as we stay above this zone, I'm looking for a push back to 113.6, and hopefully we can find a retest for some longs. But at the moment, not quite seeing that. So again, I'm looking at maybe a bit more downside. If you look at the intraday setup, yeah, still pretty consistent with the lower highs. So push down with the lower high, then get a drop from there. Lordo, yes, I'll have a look at CHF JPY 1 second. Means it's CHF pair, so we'll get to it. So yeah, DXY, I would be looking at something like that, a bit more intraday. But as I said, long term, still looking at a big sell, a big buy, which obviously lines up with the dollar CHF analysis we just had. In terms of CHF JPY, so I have been looking to short this one. Unfortunately, it did break through my zone. Or I would have looked to pull the trigger on it because it gave me a nice bearish engulfing candle this morning. Really nice bearish engulfing candle just above my resistance level, and of course we've broken that trend line a while ago as well. So I am looking for price to sell off because we haven't broke through the structure yet. This was our last lower high, which gave us this low. As long as we can maintain that, and of course don't break structure, I will be looking for a push back into the lower limit here. The moment we break the upside, also looking for these higher highs and lows to form. And that's probably going to take us all the way back to 175.708, which at the moment I'm not really interested in. I'm not really looking to buy CHF JPY. The only yen pair which I'm looking to buy at the moment is dollar yen. But should we see a breakout for Aussie yen and a breakout for New Zealand yen, I'll be looking at breakouts for those as well. For now, it's just CHF JPY on the up. So yeah, with CHF JPY, if it did respect that level of resistance and did give me the bearish engulfing candle, I would be in the trade. It's almost above the level there. But we've broken through the level. We also broke through the trend line, I think a couple of days ago as well. So I have stayed out of the market because my confidences are not being respected. So it's not that we can't sell off, but as a trader, I have rules. Those rules are met. I step into the market. If they're not met, then I refrain from it. Market may still move in my desired direction. I just want trade to take at least one that fits my plan anyway. So yeah, Swiss franc, not happy with the price action there. I like the candlestick this morning, really nice flower candle close, but it's holding some support to the left there. This was the prior lows holding that I was hoping that price would hold as resistance. Unfortunately, we did not. So now I'm looking at potentially move back the high there. Should we break structure? And I would be favoring a push back to 175.708. Yeah, that's really where I'm at with CHF JPY. Now, this is still a pair which I'm very bearish on at longer term, which again I'll explain for numerous reasons, but the biggest one is the all-time high situation. We had the prior all-time highs there of 1978, 1979. Price has since broken through that, and I do fancy a pretty big pullback now for Swiss franc at some point this year. So I do think the sales will come to life pretty soon. But yeah, unfortunately, it's looking a little bit dry at this moment in time. Anyway, in terms of the other C-Chef pairs, it does look like we've seen bits of C-Chef, let's say a bit of C-Chef weakness, but have we maybe against the euro? But pound CTF, I think we had a slight bounce, but didn't really go anywhere. Yeah, hasn't really gone anywhere. So pound CTF is a pair which I'm looking at a lot, to be honest, because I want to see a breakout of this consolidation. And because we haven't had a bounce yet, it looks like we might be seeing that happen sooner rather than later. So it's a pair that I do need to stay awake to, because should we see a confident break to the downside of this consolidation, I'll be all over that in terms of the shorts and a push right back. A push right back to the low. And that's really where my focus will be. But yeah, ranges sometimes can give you really good opportunities. If the market is stuck in a range for a long time, that is, of course, it can be boring. It can be a bit difficult to stay patient. But when the market does consolidate for a while, it's building up, building up, building up, and typically you do see a lot of follow through after ranges. So if you can catch that move on a pullback somewhere, it's normally a trade that will give you a decent move in your direction, whether you're looking at the lower time frames or the higher time frames. So it's normally a trade that is worthwhile. But of course, you have to wait for the breakout first, and there are other um, conditions that play into consideration. What the high time frames look at, how was the breakout? Because this is a really nice range here, but if the market was to have a very sluggish breakout, aka we see maybe a couple candles close below, then close back above, then kind of correctly push like that. That's not a break and retest or a breakout that is going to get me excited. Yes, we have broken out the range or broken support. This support level would have been broken, which will get me excited from that regard. I'm looking for a push back here. So if we break through that support level, it means that a push back to the low there is looking pretty likely. But I need the price action to clean up. So a nice impulse, maybe a correction somewhere, retest. I have no idea what happened there. Just sign me out of my stream. Okay, looks like the mic is still on. I'm still connected to the computer mic though. No one chance with my mic. Need to test that after the stream. But I think all is still well. Okay, we're good. We're good. I have no idea what happened there. Um, didn't need to do that either. But what was I saying about consolidation breakout? So yeah, even if it does break support, it doesn't have to be the best breakout in the world. It just means I won't look for the retest of the range. If it is a good breakout, as I was referencing, if it is impulsive, we do clear the level by some distance, then I'll be looking for the retest of the level and finding entries off the back of that. If the market does break support and it's very, very corrective, then I'll wait for more momentum to come in at some point, and then look for the retest of another area, but it won't be the retest of that same zone because the breakout was corrective, which again is pretty prone to fake outs as well. If we do slightly break the low, it's prone to price breaking back inside and seeing upside off that regard. So that's another reason why I don't look to follow those moves, because they're corrective, they take their time, and it doesn't really give me much confidence or show signs of momentum, which is really what I want to see. So pound CHF, definitely market I'm going to keep a close eye on, but we need to break out that range. If we take a look at New Zealand CHF, this one has looked good at times as well, but looks like it's starting to consolidate as well, and overall kind of drying up in terms of momentum. We are respecting the highs there pretty well. Oh, didn't do that. We are respecting the highs there pretty well, but struggling to really get going. We've had kind of two clear attempts to try and sell off. One over there, second over there. Both haven't really amounted to much. So in my book, um, I'm not really looking to jump into New Zealand CHF until it clears up a little bit. Maybe if I see price kind of fake the high and then dip back inside, there might be a nice short off the back of that. But really, it's not looking as good as it once was. That double top there looked good. Hasn't really played out to that. Took out the highs there. So that would have stopped a few people out. But I would probably stay away until it cleans up. Now, Aussie CHF is still very flat, and I believe it's still testing a really strong level of support, which is this level over there. So the price is still retesting that area, 0.561, and of course still retesting the high there too. So if Aussie CHF is going to stay like this in that range, then I'm just going to stay away from it. I'm expecting a pretty big breakout back to the low there, and then hopefully back into said that the wrong way around, hopefully back into the low there, but then hopefully back into the all-time low, which is the low there, 0.53668. So I'm expecting a lot more downside for Aussie CHF. However, we do need to break, this is the weekly chart says, we do need to break through this level of support for me to get the green flag, the go ahead, because as long as prices are respecting that support level, we can bounce, fluctuate between these two levels for quite a while. And that's just not what I want to be looking to trade. If we do see a solid break of this support level, it's probably going to take us to the next level, which is back at those lows. Then we get some really high probability shorts and pullbacks, which is why I do like New Zealand CHF, because New Zealand CHF has broken through some strong support already, which is the low back over here. We've broken through that, so I'm looking for price to continue back into the low here, which is at 0.495. But the price action hasn't been that good. So I'm going to see what we can do on another retest of these highs, maybe push in and then get a sell off the back of that. But it has to give me some type of fake out or something. Otherwise, I'll stay away because, like I said, these two attempts to sell, if we were really going to continue, we should have done it by now. That we haven't is a bit more of a red flag. In terms of CAD CHF, haven't really been focusing much on this pair. It's just been very, very choppy and not really giving me much indication of what we're trying to do. As you can see, this is our consolidation. So again, if you're looking to short high and buy low, it's actually not a bad opportunity. But in terms of trend continuation, that's pretty much non-existent now for our chart. Prices be fluctuating so much, no consistent structure really. The best way to kind of focus on a market like this is just look to focus at the highs and the lows. You can see that's the previous high, taking that across. That's where you want to find your entries, taking that across. Nice entry there as well. Of course, major support here, came back, retested pretty well there. Came back and tested the support pretty well there as well, and there too. So those are where you're going to find your entries. When the market is sideways, fluctuating a lot, I'm going to focus right at the top, right at the bottom of the market, the extremes. Trying to find trades inside here is where it gets very, very difficult, and you're probably much better off staying far, far away because the probability of you getting stopped out is really high, and probability of you just taking a lot of break evens as well. Because even if you do see price moving in your direction, probably going to correct ourselves before continuing in that direction. And yeah, if you're unfortunate, probably take you out of the trade first and then go in your direction. So yeah, CAD CHF, very, very choppy, but if you know how to trade it, you can find some really nice opportunities, especially when the range is pretty wide. Because if we do short here, catch it to the low, you're still looking at a pretty healthy risk reward there. It's not a situation where you've got a tight range and your risk reward is kind of capped. Rex, what is up? Still looking at euro pound sells. Yeah, but I want price to push a little bit higher up. I'm not looking to sell it right now, but I'm looking at price pushing back to the 0.85 area, a really big level in the daily chart. As you can see, really confident level of support there, twice over there as well. And you can see we do have this trendline confluence connecting those major highs. So I'm looking for price to reach that area first before I do take any downside. Um, Otherwise, yeah, I'm not really looking to short just yet. I've actually been looking to long euro pound for a while, but unfortunately, the longs never quite came into play. Just looking at the chart, I was looking to buy it back over here when we had that first breakout. I was looking for price to come back, retest the level here, but unfortunately, we didn't see the pullback and price left me in the dust a little bit. So now the next best opportunity would be the sales, and I like it because we are still really corrective on the way up. So as long as we keep that up, there's probably a good chance we do go through a bit of a sell. Um, yeah, there's probably a good chance we do go for a bit of a sell, but like I said, I won't look to anticipate price or do anything until we get back to at least the 0.85 area. Then I'll be looking for my entry patterns for the sell. So yeah, I do think euro pound isn't a great place for a short. Didn't mean to do that. Do you think euro pound is a great place for a short? We trend to the downside for a while, so we are in an area where potentially another low high could form. I'm not necessarily looking for a swing all the way back to these lows for the same reason why I was looking to buy the market, because we do have this massive, massive level of monthly support here. So I would be very, very careful about any long-term sells. I like it because it's an area where we can probably get a reaction, but because this level of support has definitely a load of significance and it's definitely very, very strong. It's not a level which I want to hold any long-term swings into for euro pound. I'll be looking to try and lock in gains along the way. I'll be trading stops to try and manage the risk. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't be looking for a swing all the way back down to the lows there, for example, for euro pound. But for now, it's a nice area of confidence, so we'll see how price gets there, and hopefully we can speak in some shorts later on. But yeah, in terms of what I'll be looking at for kind of the rest of the week, I'll still keep an eye on CTO because it hasn't invalidated structure yet. So it still does have my attention, but I do need to come back below that level. If it was a big enough candle, I could have shorted it on that candle closure, but it kind of closed in the level there, so it's kind of an awkward close for me. See your price is respecting the level or it's not. It's not really respecting it since it did break above it, so I needed a much bigger candle close than that to short. But if we do get back below, then I'll start looking for entries again, as long as we don't take out this high. If we do, then I do fancy moving back to the highs there. But for now, I'm still looking to short. In terms of the USD pairs, I do like Euro USD, but to be honest, I do like Pound USD a little bit more. Euro USD still respecting structure on the left there, so a nice double top could present some nice shorts. Pound USD, same situation as well. I like to see Pound USD can push back into the high and get a short off the back of that. Essentially, I'm looking for the retest of this low here. I'm also looking for the retest of this low. So should price become bullish and we see a deeper pullback, then 1.25 will be my area of interest. I'm looking for opportunities off the back of that. Another pair which I do like a lot as well is gold, which is had a really nice breakout of that resistance. And I'm looking for gold to get back to the all-time high. So now that we've seen that confident break, there's probably a really good chance that gold has a pullback and continues back to the highs at 27.90, and probably see some new highs there as well. So very, very bullish with gold. And then, of course, I'm looking at pound Aussie and pound entity. So those two are not far from the levels. So I'll wait for us to get there, see how we react, and hopefully find some longs. We'll go for them. That's really on focus lines. No problem. So yeah, NAS. So for this one as well, I am looking at pullbacks and upsides. So as I mentioned yesterday, keep an eye on this high here, 21,600. That to me looks like the best area for a buy, and then possibly you can target the all-time highs, or at least the high here, of course. That's where we pull back from. So naturally, that's where you want to buy back towards. But we understand the overall trend for NAS and what the market's likely to do. S&P looks like it's just about made all-time highs, or at least testing that area. I do think NAS can go and join that as well. But being very, very consistent with the higher lows. So expecting a pullback and more upside. I'll keep an eye on 2600. Retest the high looks really good. We've taken out the highs in the 4-hour chart, taking out this trend line here and broke the highs as well. So for me, I would expect a lot more upside for NAS and probably some new highs pretty soon. So yeah, very, very bullish on the indices, S&P, NAS, US 30, all expecting them to keep pushing. Yeah, guys, we have come to the end of the stream. I will be live again later today with Trader Nick. Hopefully I can sort out my mic before that happens. I will be live again tomorrow on my channel as always. I'm live every weekday, Monday to Friday. So make sure you tune in if you're interested. What was I going to say? Check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that at the top of the chat and also in the description below. You can find updates about Elevating Traders there. Chat with other traders, including myself. I share ideas there. Other people do as well. If you want to join the community, go check it out. Completely free to join. Link in the description and also at the top of the chat. If you have enjoyed the stream today, guys, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. I do apologize for the audio. I have no idea what went wrong there, but I'll be using my computer audio, which is why it doesn't sound as good. But I hope I can get the mic sorted for the next stream. So apologies for that, people. But guys, have a great day. I'll catch you all in the next one.